Okay, good morning, good afternoon. Thank you everybody for joining, wherever you are in the world today. This is a webinar that we are hosting to formally introduce the next filer within the CTERA Edge filer product line. It's the Edge X Series, and it's the industry's first hyperconverged cloud gateway. We have gotten a lot of interest, a lot of conversations happening around this launch, which we formally introduced by a press release and to the market late last month. And there's a lot of great buzz around the industry, from media to analysts to customers, and we're really excited to bring this to you today and help you better understand what we're launching with the X Series here. So just a couple of quick notes at the top. My name is Jim Crook. I'm the Director of Marketing with CTERA. Joining me today is Simon Michelson, who is our Chief Architect for the Americas. Simon, thanks for joining today. How are you?
I'm doing good. Happy to be here. Thank you, Jim.
Great. Awesome. Thanks, Simon. So we're using the Zoom platform for this webinar, and hopefully you're familiar with it, but if not, it's very easy as an attendee to participate. You'll notice on a tab, the tab on your screen there is a Q&A section, and we'd love any questions that you have to type into that box, and Simon and I will tackle them toward the end of the webinar. So if you hear something, if something's not clear as we walk through it, type that into the box, and hopefully we have enough time to get through everyone's questions. So I think that's it for housekeeping at the top. And we'll hop right into it now. Just a little bit about CTERA. I think many of you are very familiar with us and what we do, but maybe you could benefit from a refresher, or you're new to CTERA, you want to learn more about us. We were founded about 10 years ago by experts in cybersecurity who actually spun out of Checkpoint, and they really wanted to apply the concepts of security and firewall technology to cloud file services, and that's how CTERA started about 10 years ago. Today we've expanded worldwide. We have offices around the world in North America, EMEA, APAC, Latin America. Our sales headquarters are here in New York City, and all of our R&D and engineering takes place outside Tel Aviv in Israel. And on the screen here, you see a great quote from a recent Gartner report that just highlights really the value proposition that CTERA brings, and that's really around our ability to provide distributed offices, distributed organizations that have high priorities on data privacy and data sovereignty, help them modernize their file infrastructure by moving to the cloud while maintaining those same sorts of data performance, data security, and data residency that they've always enjoyed with traditional file services solutions. So that's where we come at, where we come with a solution in this market. Here's a very high-level cross-section of the customers that we're working with today. As you can see, it's worldwide. It's wide variety of industries and sizes of organizations, but we're really working with some of the most leading enterprises and service providers and government organizations today. You can see federal government. We do a lot of work with federal government here in the States. We work with very distributed organizations, as we mentioned, and these include organizations in healthcare like Humana. They include financial services organizations like Santander and the Carlyle Group. They include manufacturing organizations like Unilever. And so what you see is that we offer a very horizontal product that really lends itself well to a wide variety of verticals. We have sold more than 50,000 cloud storage gateways, and the X Series is the next iteration of that product line. But 50,000 gateways worldwide is the world's #1, and it's a figure that's greater than all the other gateway vendors in this market combined, actually. So we are a global leader in this space. We also support millions of endpoint users as well through our unified edge, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. We have 50+ worldwide Fortune 500 class customers with us today, and we are deployed and ship solutions to 110 countries around the world today. What does CTERA do? At a very high level, we provide secure enterprise file services from edge to cloud. It's a unified file services platform that covers every aspect of file collaboration, file sync, file backup from any device at the edge to any cloud. We offer accelerated access to your cloud files through our smart caching edge filers and our smart caching endpoint applications, known as CTERA Edge and CTERA Drive, respectively. And you can see a high-level architecture on the right-hand side of the slide that connects up to our global file system and our central management tools that are deployed in either the customer's choice of private or public or hybrid or multi-cloud. So we offer a fully multi-cloud data management platform here. And the last aspect of it is the security angle again, right? So we were founded by cybersecurity experts, and we've applied that to cloud file services in terms of military grade encryption from edge to cloud, completely 100% in firewall deployments, and full control over data residency. So it's a single platform that covers a wide variety of use cases, and these are just this is just a sample of what CTERA does today with the customers that you saw a couple slides earlier. But remote office filers, obviously a way for organizations to modernize legacy NAS, legacy Windows file servers with a cloud attached NAS with 0-minute cloud DR. As well, we enable multi-site collaboration, whether your offices are in, your users in an office or they're roaming, they all have access to a same global file system. We offer the ability for organizations to push out content and distribute that globally, and then tiering and archiving, which obviously is a key aspect of our platform now. Organizations are looking to modernize their NAS, they're looking to reduce costs at the edge and push data to a much more cost-effective layer, and we enable that with our cloud storage gateways. We enable you to push off unused, non-critical data to the cloud and enjoy vast cost savings over traditional NAS solutions. And then as well, we offer a wide variety of collaboration tools, from home folders for private file sync and share, workspaces for group projects with internal and external users, VDI file services, and then endpoint backup for protecting your files and ensuring versions and things that you can roll back to in the event of a disaster or some sort of virus that impacts your organization. So it's a wide variety of use cases falling under the three main categories of remote office storage, secure file sharing, and backup and archiving, all from a single platform with CTERA. And so let's get to the main event today. So this is what we're talking about. This is what we've announced. This is the Edge X Series, which is a totally unified platform for edge computing and multi-cloud data management. And so what we've done is taken the best of the CTERA Edge filer family and integrated that with a leader in HCI or hyperconverged infrastructure, HPE SimpliVity. So we've partnered with HPE for many years, and we thought that with their SimpliVity product, it made sense to take the partnership to the next level and integrate our filer technology with the hyperconverged infrastructure to provide a fully unified, complete edge solution for enterprises. So we'll dig into a little bit about what that means. So, like I said, we took the best of the CTERA Edge and married that with HPE SimpliVity. So where CTERA brings to this partnership and to this solution is what you see on the left. Edge filer technology, the ability to have a local access to your files, SMB, CIFS, NFS access to files for your users, while having the same ability to tier off and archive data from on-prem to low-cost object or cloud storage. The ability to have a global file system where all of your users, no matter where they are, can connect up and have access to the most consistent set of data. Multi-cloud capabilities, to the ability to move data within within different clouds, from different clouds, migrate data to whatever sort of cloud topology that your organization wants to adopt. Cloud deduplication, so having the ability to minimize the amount of storage that your cloud storage deployment will take, and as well minimize the amount of traffic that's going over your network, your WAN network. And then the ability to have cloud failover, cloud DR, in the event that your appliance at the edge has some sort of issue, your users can still remain productive and have access to the cloud. And so we unified that with what HPE SimpliVity brings to the table, and that's complete edge computing, a managed hypervisor to ensure that you have the ability to run a wide variety of multiple tier 1 applications on a single system. All flash storage, so the highest levels of performance at the edge. Local deduplication, so this really works well with our cloud deduplication in that at the local level, inline level, HPE SimpliVity's deduplication efforts will enable you to reduce space and reduce storage locally, while our cloud deduplication takes that a step further and reduces storage that's needed to store files on the cloud. And then the local high availability really marries well with the cloud DR aspect of CTERA, and that we're offering now are really a triple redundant platform. You have the 2 units you can see here, which are syncing in real time and always have the ability to recover from any local outage. But then you also have the third disaster recovery option through the cloud. So it's a triple redundant, very highly available platform that we've put together now for enterprises. And so at its core, this is a system that's an all-in-one system for compute, networking, storage, and cloud. And no pre-integrated solution in the market existed like this until we introduced the X Series. So it's really the best of both worlds. It's branch IT consolidation, all-in-one edge systems for compute, networking, storage, and cloud. And this is really critical, especially if you're in an organization where you're in an office and you have multiple servers running various applications. I think IT consolidation, obviously, at the edge is becoming more and more important and more something that these organizations are trying to do. And imagine if you have tens or 20 or hundreds or thousands of offices where you have all of these different servers running. If you could consolidate these all into a system, single system at each edge site that connects up into a global file system, you have a much easier way to manage all of your users, all of your offices, and a much better way to reduce your costs in managing all of these various infrastructure. High resiliency, like we just talked about, the ability to have a multi-layer local and cloud failover for guaranteed continuous operation. This is really critical for organizations, especially that are running now, that want to consolidate all of their tier 1 applications and all their file data into a single system. That's critical. High performance, the ability to have our edge filer technology on the hyperconverged gateway itself, which enables that fast local access to cloud files, LAN speed access through an all-flash configuration. And then again, the top security, full control over your data residency, choice of multiple cloud options, and total end-to-end military-grade encryption using AES 256 and TLS 1.2 in transit encryption. So at this point, we're getting into the architecture. I'd love to hand it over to Simon, our chief architect. And Simon, you can walk through the next few slides with everyone.
Absolutely, and thank you, Jim. So I'll go through the architecture specifically of the X Series appliance and the capabilities introduced as part of that new product offering. So specifically, Jim, you've reviewed about 4 priorities, right? First and foremost, we want to enable that branch consolidation. When it comes to running your applications or any kind of workload really at that remote edge office, you're looking to use that this new offering by CTERA, but not only to provide unstructured data and serve file shares, but also you can leverage that platform to run your applications, your DNS, print, DHCP, antivirus scanning, all these apps can run as virtual machines on top of the same unit or hypervisor as well as CTERA. And CTERA will also help with that data protection for those other workloads, and thus enabling that consolidation. The next thing is resiliency. As you can see in this diagram, we have a 2-node config, an all-flash configuration that has synchronous replication both at the storage layer, but also HA at the hypervisor layer, really ensuring that you can fully failover to a secondary unit available on site before you failover to the cloud. So essentially, it's a disk-to-disk to cloud failover model. So for sites that deal with large data sets, that user experience is paramount, this product offering can really support those high-end use cases. Effectively, you're not running out of storage. The CTERA X Series appliances act as a natural extension of cloud and cloud storage, effectively accelerating data access to users at your edge locations. Next is performance. Jim, you mentioned everything is built on Flash and inline deduplication, and this way we're able to deliver a very high-end throughput and support workloads that require very high I/O. And then lastly, when it comes to the disaster recovery model and of course data security, you have full control of that data residency. So starting from end-to-end encryption, with encrypting the volumes of the units, as well as data in transit, but also data at rest as it resides in the cloud, but then extending that to also fine-grained control over choosing where data will reside, and thus helping cope with compliance requirements like GDPR, where you would want to keep data in a certain region. But this architecture was designed to support 2 fundamental use cases. And the first one is, and Jim, if we can proceed to the next slide, is to support those edge locations, edge devices, and remote offices. We help a lot of highly distributed companies that have a lot of sites of operation to replace their existing file server with a CTERA cloud-enabled solution. So from a compatibility standpoint, we provide that same presentation to your Windows clients, your Linux clients, and your Mac clients from a map drive capability. But then we provide that real-time sync and continuous data protection onto the cloud and the cloud of your choice. So you can really take a look at here and see that the X Series is a platform for consolidating and running multiple VMs in addition to running the CTERA data protection solution. It's integrated stack for both compute and storage and networking. So you can really use that, leverage that to deploy multiple apps. We elastically scale, and we can leverage multiple clouds. If you're looking to start on-premise, move to a virtual private cloud provided by Amazon or Microsoft Azure or IBM or vice versa, we can really easily accommodate that, and we have flexibility in moving and transitioning data from edge to cloud. We're providing both local and cloud redundancy. So in any event of an incident, you have a local target to fail over to, but also a highly available target that resides in the cloud of your choice. So that data availability model is crucial for companies looking for business continuity. But then not only that, you can also access data on the go. So if you leave your office at the end of the day and need access through mobile devices, through a web page, or even a client app for your desktop, you can do that for those same data sets that reside on the X Series filers. This way we enable multi-site collaboration. So teams that work out in different continents or different countries, they can all access and collaborate on one global file system, all while having a local cache of their data available to them over LAN speed. So effectively, the CTERA X Series appliances act as caching gateways and provide that acceleration for that hot data, frequently accessed data, onto your users at your remote site. We do all of this with centralized management. So we have a web console that allow you to administer, monitor, and audit after tens of thousands of edge locations. This way you can really streamline your management activities and reduce the overhead it takes to manage traditional and legacy file systems. And then lastly, when it comes to data security, the ability to allocate any kind of storage bucket and make sure you're the sole proprietor of the encryption keys is key to enable Fortune 100 companies, but also companies in the healthcare Department of Defense that are very security conscious. The second use case is for virtual desktop infrastructure, and specifically serving unstructured content and providing access through cloud technologies to those data sets. So if you take a look at a VDI infrastructure, it typically leverages very expensive high I/O SAN storage. And typically that storage is used in order to be able to spin up that instance very quickly. However, for unstructured data, user profile folders, documents, desktop, pictures, music folders, you don't need that level of performance. So using that high I/O expensive storage could be somewhat of an overkill. But we're looking at cloud and cloud storage and cloud technologies as a more of a efficient way of managing those unstructured data sets, yet keeping that same level of performance as you had before through caching technology. So CTERA essentially will serve as a file server, as your target endpoint to map drives, those home directories, group shares, or even do things like folder redirection. So we do a lot of projects for redirecting all the user profile folders to point to CTERA, and then as part of that redirection, you gain all the efficiencies when it comes to encrypting the data, deduplicating the data, and making sure that that data is tiered and archived according to its age. So as data gets older, it will be reclaimed from the local storage and then be kept for as long as the retention, the unify, up in the cloud of your choice in our global file system. And then and we can move on to the next slide, Jim, please. Thank you. And then if you take a look at the CTERA product family, or the family picture, we started off back at the beginning with our E Series appliances. The E Series appliances provided sufficient data protection and file services capabilities for sites of up to hundreds of users. Then last year, went ahead and introduced the H series to support medium-sized offices of up to 3,000 users, sites that deal with larger data sets that need more local cache, either up to 64 terabytes of SATA or 24 terabytes of SSDs. Especially if you take a look at companies in the media and entertainment space, healthcare, they're dealing with large files, and and it's highly important to be able to access those quickly over LAN speed, but yet also gain that automatic tiering and optimization leveraging cloud storage. So really the X series is positioned as the high-end option for those really large offices, your primary sites for or regional data centers even of up to 5,000 users. It comes with an all-flash configuration, as typically required by enterprise companies or sites that would require higher throughput of up to 40 terabytes raw, and all serving using SSDs, about 200 gigs, up to 200 gigs of memory for not only running the CTERA component, but also leaving enough room for you to run additional applications. From a networking standpoint, we support up to 40 gigabit Ethernet or fiber. And then the redundancy model, which is significantly different than our other series, is that the X comes with a 2-node configuration. with that local HA at the hypervisor layer, but also that synchronous replication for the underlying storage array provides you with a local disaster recovery point, and then the option to fail over to the cloud. So, and that's really unique from an availability standpoint, and that's why this product offering is so exciting. Lastly, from an HCI compute, it's a high performance compute system that has enough compute power for you to also run additional applications. With that, I think, Jim, I'll hand it over back to you.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Simon. Thanks a lot, Simon. So we've gotten a few questions coming in through the chat box. Keep them coming. We're getting toward the end of of what we have to present, but happy to answer any questions that you have through that checkbox. But just to recap in terms of what CTERA brings to enterprise data management, really addressing the three critical pillars as we see it. The unified edge, so the ability to support users wherever they are in an office with a filer or through an endpoint application, our CTERA Drive application. It's a unified solution to support whatever type of organization that you're working with today. Second is ultra security. In firewall deployments, the private encryption, military grade and private encryption keys that Simon talked about, and the ability to have the very high and advanced ways of authenticating users into your platform from not just Active Directory, but also two-factor and multi-factor and smart card authentication. So ultra security, another key aspect of the platform. And then lastly, multi-cloud, the ability for you to move your data and store your data wherever you want that to be, whether that's on-prem, whether that's in a hybrid model where you keep most critical data on-prem and move some to the cloud, or in a multi-cloud topology. We give you the option to deploy the system and however you want to do that. So I'm going to open the session now for some questions that I'll read and Simon and I can tackle. Don't leave just yet. Once we get through the questions, there are a couple of parting gifts we want to let you know about, some information that you should know before you jump off. So we'll start with our questions right about now. Just let me dig these up, and thanks for everyone for their questions. First question, is the X series on SimpliVity only? Okay, this is a good point and a good question. So the X series is only a CTERA on HPE SimpliVity box. However, as Simon just noted with our V series, you can run a Edge Filer V series on any hyperconverged platform that you want. It's not a pre-integrated platform like the X series is on HPE SimpliVity, but you have the ability to run our platform on Nutanix, on Cisco HyperFlex, and we have accounts in production on those platforms today. So our hyperconvergence model is not limited to SimpliVity. It's what we built our X series on, but we are working with other hyperconverged vendors in the space. And to be clear, CTERA is not entering the hyperconverged space. We are just partnering with HPE SimpliVity to help us deliver a pre-integrated solution. Thanks for that question. Okay, let's see, who delivers support? So in terms of who, if you have a support question, who provides that to you as a customer, CTERA provides the tier 1 support, and we work with HPE SimpliVity to escalate on any matters that need escalation. But CTERA is providing a tier 1 support for this system. Digging through a couple of others here. Simon, question about our deduplication. Is our cloud deduplication global? Does it deduplicate data from all connected edge filers in X series?
Yes. So the answer is yes, and we provide some control over that deduplication capability. We allow deduplication at the folder level And then also, if required, we can also do it globally for all gateways connected to our global file system. Typically, the consideration or why customers would choose one over the other is security. Essentially, in some environments, customers would want to allocate encryption keys per file or per folder, and thus that derives the level of deduplication. So the answer is yes, and we have more control over the level of dedupe if necessary.
Thanks, Simon. Another question here. Does CTERA support site-to-site asynchronous replication?
Yes, and that's absolutely what we do for unstructured data. We using our gateway to cloud model, edge to cloud model, the data is asynchronously replicated onto the cloud and then propagates to all the other sites where you need that data to be held. We have the ability to populate data based on its age, or if you know beforehand the contents you want to keep locally, you can then select that by checking a box.
Perfect, thanks, Simon. Does a remote user access files on the local edge filer or in a central file system in the cloud?
Both options are available. Users can access through the local edge filer through a map drive or protocols like SMB, CIFS, NFS, regular traditional file access protocols. But we also provide, as I mentioned, on-the-go access through the cloud, through web, mobile, or even a client app on your laptop. So you can edit and make changes at any both at the local edge and also in the cloud, and then our bidirectional sync will make sure that that information is kept consistent and all the changes synchronized to the relevant parties.
Great, and I think along those lines, another question here from Ricardo. For local CTERA clients, are files uploaded and downloaded to and from the gateways at all times, or are they first uploaded or downloaded from the cloud storage?
Right. So the data is synchronized in real time. As soon as the data lands on the local gateway, it will be synchronized onto the cloud. And then it's only a question of when we're going to be reclaiming that local storage space. So you can define a policy that after a certain amount of time, that data will be then deleted from the local storage, but kept indefinitely or however long the retention specifies up in the cloud. But from a user standpoint, that data, the metadata for that file still exists. So to the user, it looks as if the file is already there, but when he'll double click that file, it will be downloaded on demand. Okay.
Got it. Thanks, Simon. Question from Antonius. How does the administration integrate into a VMware environment, a VMware vSphere environment? And can I administrate CTERA storage out of the VMware environment?
Yes, we have an integration with vCenter. It's provided as part of the solution.
Perfect. Okay, just digging through a couple of other questions. From Richard, is the client sync data compressed in transit?
Yes. So data efficiency is incorporated to our protocol for transferring the files. So before data is transferred from the gateways onto our portal or to the cloud, we compress the data, but also deduplicate it at the block level. So we will look for existing blocks, and if they already exist, we will not be transferring them onto the cloud, and thus saving you bandwidth and cost.
Great. Looks like a question from Mike here, just asking, does this CTERA X Series provide end user file systems like SMB and NFS?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yes. SMB version 3.1 and NFS as well. Yeah.
All right. Question about data tiering from Marcin. Is all data replicated to cloud and only hot kept on-prem, or is data only tiered to the cloud?
The first, all the data gets replicated in real time, but the hot data is kept on premise.
Perfect. Question from Bruce. Who provides the VMware licenses? Is it a bring your own, or are they provided in the cost of the X Series appliance? Bruce, the answer to that question is it's a bring your own model. So the customer will bring their own VMware license, and we will, and that integrates with the X Series.
Mhm.
Let's see here. I think we've moved through quite a bit. So let me check some others here, Simon, just while. We had a question about the distance supported between local HAs and the links of speed and latency that are required. I'll take that one, Simon. The local HA for this question, Marcin, the local HA is kept should be in low latency over a LAN, and the network speed is 10 gigabit for the local HA. Simon, anything else on that to add?
No, I think you got it right. Thank you. Yeah.
Another question we had was, which stack are you using for the hypervisor? The answer to that is VMware. Is there a limit, from Brian is asking, is there a user limit for the user limits that you went through, Simon, for each gateway? Is that an individual user or concurrent user limit?
I'm sorry, Jim, I didn't hear. Can you
Yeah.
repeat, please? Yeah.
In terms of the specs for each filer, and we talked about the recommended number of users, is that are those limits referring to individual users or concurrent users?
Concurrent.
Concurrent, yeah. Okay. I think we have covered most of the questions that I have seen in here. Let me just check a couple of others. Some are coming in. Native integration, Simon, with antivirus engines?
Yes, we integrate with about 5 or 6 different antivirus vendors, companies like McAfee, Symantec, ESET, Trend Micro, and Sophos, to provide on-access and on-demand scans.
Simon, we're getting some requests to bring up the different models again, so I'm just showing that on the screen here.
Yeah.
But yes, we're really, as Simon mentioned, we want to cover off on really any size organization, any size office that your organization may have. So with the newest introduction of the X Series, it's answering the question of the most powerful, most resource intensive, most critical offices that your organization has, so you can see how it stacks up against the rest of the Edge filer family here. Okay, you're welcome, Brett. All right, well, I think those are the questions for now. If you have any further questions, you can reach out to me and Simon, or sales at CTERA. So sales at CTERA.com, Simon at CTERA.com, Simon with an A, and Jim C at CTERA.com. Any one of us can help you out. I mentioned that after the questions, we wanted to let everyone know about what else they can learn about the H series. So I hope you have, if you haven't had the chance yet, you do check out CTERA.com/X Series, where you get a lot of information. There's actually a new video from Enterprise Strategy Group, ESG Research, Mark Peters, who discusses why there's this need in the enterprise for a hyperconverged cloud gateway. So do check that out. And also, everybody who's attending today, we're happy to be mailing you an X Series kit. So in the next couple of days, be on the lookout for an email from CTERA. You're getting a lot of great content that we created around this launch, from our data sheets to our solution sheet to a brand new X Series white paper. So there's a lot of great material that you can read through, get more familiar with the platform, and as always, ask us any questions that you have as you go through that. Lastly, before we jump off, do want to make the offer to everyone on the call to let us buy you a cup of coffee or a few cups of coffee. We're giving away $25 Starbucks cards to anybody who gets in touch with us for a one-on-one briefing or a demo with our CTERA solutions experts like Simon to go over the X series and learn more about what it can do for your organization. Just email sales@ctera.com and we will work with you to schedule a time, and we'll be happy to buy you a few cups of coffee on us, on CTERA. So I think, yeah, that's going to do it for today. And Simon, thanks so much for your time and hopping on and getting on with us, going through everything about the X series. Thank you everybody, especially today, who's joined us. We've had a great crowd, some great interaction with the Q&A. So I hope you learned what you came to learn about the X series. If there's anything else that we can help you with, again, sales@CTERA is a great way to get started. Jim C@CTERA.com and Simon@CTERA.com, all good ways to get in touch. But that's it for now. We're going to sign off. Thanks again, everybody, for joining. Have a great day.